Topic: Training methods. Subtopics: Difference between on-the-job and off-the-job training methods. Advantages and disadvantages. Group discussion on off-the-job training versus on-the-job training methods. On-the-job and off-the-job training methods. First, on-the-job training involves imparting training in the real work environment, i.e., it believes in learning by doing. While off-the-job training involves imparting training outside the real work environment, i.e., the principle of learning by acquiring knowledge is adopted. Second, under on-the-job training, the training and performance goes simultaneously, so production is not hindered at the time of training. While under off-the-job training methods, first training is imparted and then the real performance follows, and therefore does not add anything to actual production during training. Third, on-the-job training aims at developing the best practices for a specific job and getting the job done, while off-the-job training methods aim at learning basic facts and skills and is more general in nature. Fourth, on-the-job training is usually imparted by experienced workers and first-line supervisors at the workplace, while off-the-job training is imparted usually by the academicians and professionals at any place other than the real workplace. Fifth, on-the-job training methods are suitable when the trainees are limited in numbers and the job is not hazardous in nature, while off-the-job training methods can be utilized to train any numbers of employees for jobs that involve risks. Sixth, on-the-job training methods are simple and less expensive because they utilize the actual workplace and firm's supervisors for imparting training, while off-the-job training methods are quite expensive as they need a complete different setup. Training here is imparted in an artificial setup and outside experts are hired for the purpose. Seventh, most popular on-the-job training methods include job rotation and apprenticeship training, while the popular off-the-job training methods include classroom lectures and simulation exercises. Eighth, on-the-job training is generally imparted in case of manufacturing firms for production-related jobs, while off-the-job training is mostly imparted for managerial and non-production-related jobs. Advantages and disadvantages of off-the-job training. Advantages of off-the-job training. First, more like classroom teaching. This method is mostly confined to teaching the tactics followed by the higher echelons of the management. That is, it teaches the trainees the problems that are faced in executing managerial level decisions and performing white-collar jobs in an organization. The setup resembles that of a formal classroom, with the trainers acting as teachers who teach different subjects in a class. In this method, all the needs and potshots are bifurcated into various segments, and like a school period, each of the discussion is allotted certain hour. This is mainly selected by those employees who are going to enter into the management divisions and executive director divisions of a company. Hence, the main advantage of this method is that it can be used for a large number of people and the cost of training per person will be very low. The same materials can be used for consecutive batches also. Second, audio-visual method aids the visual medium of a brain. Many of the companies opt for AV training, audio-visual training, to teach their employees as a part of job requirements. Thus, this method utilizes short films, footages, video clippings, PowerPoint presentations, and so on. Apart from the companies, many of the schools also use this AV method to teach the specific curriculum. By this method, it is strongly believed that the company's necessities can be easily broken down and could be assimilated in an easy and thorough manner. The audio-visual materials can also be given to the employees as a part of the package so that they can also practice themselves by training at home. Hence, the main advantage of this method is that a wide range of examples and quality control case studies can be given for various aspects and dimensions. Third, error-free production rates. As the considered employees are trained outside the workstation and even in the usual company hours, these employees are not involved in the everyday company chores. As a result, these employees are free from everyday work tension, and when they arrive back to the original place, they produce high work rates with no error. Also, during the absence of the trainees, the production rate is not going to be hindered as their jobs will be shared by the other colleagues. Fourth, the method is economical. As a huge number of employees are trained during a single phase, the method is economically viable to the company in the long run. Fifth, the method is highly time-saving. During the training phase, a huge amount of information is processed and encapsulated over a short period of time, and the company's all aspects in various dimensions are covered completely. Sixth, high productivity rates are maintained. As the trained employees are going to be placed back in the original sponsored company, the high productivity rates are always maintained. Disadvantages of off-the-job training. First, the method is completely detached from the workplace, as the entire course duration happens in a place that is entirely external to the workplace. When the actual job starts running, the employees may find it difficult to adjust themselves to the company's requirements and practical needs. Also, the training is artificial in nature and does not impart any practical experience which will serve as an efficient guide when it comes to solving everyday problems. Second, it may become non-effective in the actual context. When it comes to reality, the training may or may not be effective. The artificial classroom may appear redundant in those cases, and the practical setup of the company can pose certain threats and will sound quite unfamiliar to the employees if any changes had happened during their absence. Also, if the training is expensive and costs dearly to the company in an unfair manner, there is no use in prolonging one. Third, quality may become deteriorated. If the training company and the trainers present are inept to adapt to modern practices and current scenario, or if there is a lack of motivation from the trainer's side, then the resultant quality will be that of an inferior one, thereby making the money and the time spent on the whole course a huge waste. Fourth, production may hinder. Though the production during a certain number of employees' absence will not be stopped, the rate of production will certainly be affected, as the original work of the training undergoing employees will be shared amongst the others, which mean there is an extra load of work for them, which will lead to a stunted production. Advantages and disadvantages of on-the-job training. Advantages of off-the-job training. First, it is quite simple in nature. Yes, the training process that is involved with this method is quite simple to understand, as it particularly only focuses on the company. It can be learned through the experimentation process itself and doesn't need a formal classroom structure coupled with teachers for training. Second, the method is economical. As there are no formal training companies and trainees needed, the most are cost beneficial and save the time of teaching the employees. Third, the workplace is the learning center. As first-hand experiences are being doled out in the workplace itself, the working center itself serves as the learning center. Fourth, real-time practice. This point is obviously true, as an employee not only gets an opportunity to learn, but also can rectify any mistakes committed during the due course of time, and can ensure to prevent these mistakes in the future. Disadvantages of off-the-job training. First, low productivity rates will occur, as the trainees or the employees are actually taken to the real workstation for the training process. They will only be in the progression of acquiring and learning the necessary skills. As a result, organizational productivity as one single unit will be lowered considerably. Second, errors on production will also occur, since the concerned employees are not mixed up with any of the company's day-to-day production activities. There will be a huge possibility of the occurrence of errors on the overall production activities. On the other hand, the goods that were produced by skilled trainers will be of a qualitative nature. Third, costly both monetarily and physically. The on-the-job training method is expensive in the sense that the workers are distressed by the ongoing training activities. The goods produced by the learning trainees will be of considerably less quality, and there will be huge chances of damaging the goods permanently. These all will result only in the higher cost of production rates. Fourth, disturbance arises. A large commotion may happen during the everyday work process, as the trainees are still in their learning phase only. The existing and experienced workers may feel troubled due to the interruption of both the trainees and the supervising members. Fifth, possibility of accidents. Beneath OJT, the learners are straight away involved with the real production process, and they do not have the sufficient knowledge and dexterity of working with the known equipment and resources. Hence, the possibility of accidents survives and looms as a huge threat in the workstation. Conferences or discussion approach on job training. The conferences discussion approach refers to the training method in which the trainer delivers a lecture and initiates a discussion with the trainees to clear their work-related doubts. In large organizations, a trainer uses audio-visual aids to conduct conferences and discussions. The examples of audio-visual aids are blackboards, mock-ups, and PowerPoint presentation slides. In some cases, lectures are recorded so that they can be used to train the other batches of trainees to save time and effort. Even the trainee's presentation can be recorded for self-confrontation and self-assessment. Conferences provide an occasion for formal interchange of views among the employees of different organizations. Here, proposals or ideas developed by speakers are thrown open for discussion by participants to derive consensus. A conference is a group meeting conducted according to an organized plan in which the members seek to develop knowledge and understanding of a topic by oral participation. It is an effective training device for a person in the positions of both conference member and conference leader. As a member, a person can learn from others by comparing his opinions with those of others. He learns to respect the viewpoints of others and also realizes that there is more than one workable approach to any problem. The literal meaning of conference is consultation, but in practice, conference implies sharing some information with an audience of a large number of people. It is conducted in a meeting hall where the participants are allowed to exchange their views and satisfy their queries. The proceedings of the conference are conducted by the chairman, who is also responsible for summing up the proceedings of the conference. These days, video conferencing is also gaining popularity, under which people can participate in the conference through link via satellite.